Yo, welcome to another video. We're talking about fat loss, guys. Have you ever been overwhelmed with fat loss? People telling you have to track every single macro, you gotta weigh every ounce of your food. Like, no, you don't. I've helped hundreds of people lose hundreds of pounds, and we've never weighed any foods. We never tracked all our macros. I'm going to break it down in this video, how to make fat loss simple, how fat loss works, and how we can help you guys shed the body fat, reveal the muscle, simplified, without freaking overwhelmed, without it controlling your fucking life. Anytime anybody ever lost fat in the history of the world was because they were in a calorie deficit. Whether you did keto, intermittent fasting, fad diets, starved yourself, anytime you lost fat was because you were in a calorie deficit. So you don't lose fat because you're on keto. You don't lose fat because you were fasting. You don't lose fat because you were meal prepping or because you were weighing your foods or because you were tracking your macros. You lost fat because you were in a calorie deficit. So what is a calorie deficit? It's basically calories as in energy. Guys, calories, if you didn't know, is just a measurement of energy. Just like miles per hour, just like inches. Think of calories as a measure of energy. So basically, being in a calorie deficit means you're taking in less calories, taking in less energy than you need to maintain your current weight. So this is kind of hurt people's brains, but I don't want you guys to get an aneurysm here. It's very simple. Like, you don't need to be in a calorie deficit every single day. You just need to be in a majority in a calorie deficit on a weekly average. So that's why we track our food intake and we track our weight. And that's how we know whether we're in a calorie deficit or not. If you were to, track your food intake, track your weight for a week and you start to gain weight or you stay stagnant, after about a week or so, we should know whether we're in a calorie deficit or not. And it takes some time for us to potentially find that sweet spot, but for most people, it takes about a week of tracking our weight and our food to figure out what our calorie deficit is and if we are in a calorie deficit or not. Being in a calorie deficit doesn't mean you have to starve yourself or track every single freaking morsel of food. Like, we can make this a much more simpler. And my whole protocol, my whole slogan, I guess, is eat more, weigh less. A lot of people are trying to just eat less food. It's not about eating less food. It's about eating more food that has less calories. And on another video, I'm going to go into deeper on how calorie density works. But there's foods that have a lot of calories, very little volume, and there's foods that have very little calories and a lot of volume. We need to be eating more foods that have less calories and more volume, so we can trick our stomach into thinking that we're eating more than we're not. And we can make these low calorie dense foods taste good so you don't even feel like you're in a fat loss phase. A lot of coaches say oh, if you're hungry, that's what fat loss feels like. I've heard a lot of people say, oh, you're hungry? Well, that's what fat loss feels like. No, that just means you don't know how to do it properly. All my clients, when I give my clients a meal plan, they can't even eat the whole meal plan because it's so much food, it's so much volume that they're overly stuffed. And that's why we lose fat so effortlessly, because we're able to fill up our stomachs off a lot of low calorie dense foods that taste good, making it feel like we're not even in a fat loss phase. Then we start seeing the scale go down, we start looking better and feeling better. The goal isn't to eat less calories, the goal is to eat the most amount of food with the least amount of calories. Is this making sense? And a lot of people get you to focus on too many things, like you have to weigh your food and track all these macros and you have to eat this meal at this certain time. I don't do any of that shit because it's not necessary. All you need to focus on is calories and protein. Why do we only focus on calories and protein? Because calories, being in a calorie deficit or a calorie surplus, will determine whether you lose weight. But when I work with clients, we don't just want to lose weight, we want to lose fat. So that's why we track our protein as well. If we have a high protein diet with low calories, we are going to be able to maintain our muscle mass with the high protein diet, and we will be able to strip away body fat with the low calorie diet. So we have a low calorie, high volume nutrition, and we also have a lot of protein that we're eating. The protein is a thermic effect of food, meaning that when you eat protein, it's actually going to burn more calories. Not a whole lot, but over time, if you have a high protein diet, you're going to be burning more calories eating more protein. So that's going to add into our calorie deficit. So guys, all we need to focus on in calories and protein. When I first got into my fitness journey, I was very overwhelmed. I thought I had to track all the carbs and the fat and I had to weigh my foods, and it was I was freaking overwhelmed. But then I realized that all that matters to strip away body fat, maintain and build muscle is calories and protein. If we can figure out how to get you in a calorie deficit while reaching your daily protein requirement, we're going to be able to shed off the body fat effortlessly and maintain and build muscle. That's all we need. Like the carbs and fat, like I don't want to overcomplicate it, guys. We should be eating all macronutrients. There's a reason why fat is great for hormone regulation, and fat makes things taste good. Carbs are our body's primary fuel source, and protein has the amino acids we need to build muscle, maintain, and recover. And so protein, fats, and carbs, we need to be eating from all macronutrients, okay? But we don't really need to focus on carbs and fat. As long as we focus on calories and protein, and we don't restrict ourselves from carbs or fat, we're going to be fine. But the thing with fat is 9 calories per gram, while protein and carbs are 4 calories per gram. So the more fat you eat, the less calories you'll have, because for the same volume density and mass and weight, fat compared to a carb or a protein has more than double the amount of calories. So I have my clients eat a relatively lower fat intake and more carbohydrates, like, unrefined carbohydrates. I'm not talking about crackers, cookies, and that stuff, but I'm talking about fruits and vegetables and whole grains. So we have a lot of carbohydrates and we have a lot of protein, and we keep fat moderately low. We don't just really eat fat sources unless like we're having some salmon or avocado, some almonds, peanut butter, which is fine. But the majority of the fat that I intake and my clients intake is coming from the sauces and the oils that we cook with, our toppings, our dressings, and stuff like that. And a lot of people even get overwhelmed with just tracking their calories and protein each meal. And so a lot of my clients, including me, we meal prep. So I meal prep my breakfast and lunches. So I don't even have to track those calories, because when you meal prep, oh, this is going to be 400 calories or 40 grams. Like you already know, so you don't really have to like take your time and like Google each food group and like figure out how many calories and protein it is. So that's why I recommend meal prepping at least one of your meals. So if you can meal prep your breakfast and lunches, and then your dinner is just a high protein dinner with a bunch of fruits and vegetables, like, I might have a steak or a chicken breast or a piece of fish with a bunch of like vegetables, like you're gonna stay on track, definitely. Our body thrives on real food. I'm not completely anti-processed foods. We can have that shit sometimes, but the majority of our food should be whole foods. Like, you probably heard the 80-20 rule. I kind of believe in it. 80% of our nutrition should be coming from whole foods, whole grains, protein sources, things that are found close in nature, like fruits, vegetables, and animals, and other plant protein powders. Not plant protein powders, I'm just saying other plant proteins, beans, legumes, like other stuff like that. Like, you can lose fat, like, eating fast food, eating a lot of processed junk food. You can lose fat doing that, but you're not going to really feel great. It's not really going to help your energy so much. Like, we also want to feel good as we lose body fat. That's why we eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, because you know what fruits and vegetables have? Micronutrients, vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and fiber that actually keep us healthy. So back to the meal prep and why I think meal prepping is so great, because it eliminates the guesswork. When you meal prep your meals, and say you have 5 lunches, 5 dinners, and 5 breakfasts, say some of my clients prep all their meals, and then you don't really have to track. It's just like mindless, and you can actually prep foods that you enjoy. Say you like ground beef, say you like fish, say you like chicken, whatever you like, you can prep it and then have it ready and already know what the calorie and protein ratios are, so you don't have to stop in your day and track your nutrition. Meal prepping is the GOAT. When you meal prep, you're going to save time over time. It might, in isolation, you might lose some time, because if you haven't started meal prepping yet, you're gonna have to like dedicate an hour or so in the kitchen. But like over time, you're gonna be saving time from like not having to make your meals per order and not having to drive to a restaurant. So you're going to be saving time, saving money, because the meal prepping is the cheapest way to eat. Like, everyone's like, oh, this economy, everything's so expensive. Well, then why aren't you meal prepping? Because a lot of my meal preps, if you guys want to get my cookbook, link in the description, a lot of my meals can be like less than $2 a meal. There's no way to eat cheaper than that. And like, these are meals that are actually going to get us closer to our goals, get us healthier, get us less body fat, more muscle. I know that's what you guys want. So meal prepping is the best when it comes to just removing some of the overwhelm, simplifying fat loss, getting you into a comfortable calorie deficit while hitting your protein goal and not having to track every single macro or weigh your food, I recommend meal prepping. And if you are meal prepping and you want to just take it a layer deeper, I would meal prep and track your calories and protein. You got to do one or the other. So if you don't want to meal prep, then you have to track your calories and protein. But if you do want to meal prep and you don't want to track your calories and protein, when you meal prep, you got to know how many calories and protein that meal is so you can know that your totals at the end of the day are keeping you in a deficit and you're also reaching your protein requirement. Am I making sense yet? As I mentioned in the beginning, guys, eat more, weigh less, high volume, high protein eating. Like compare a bowl of chicken breast to a bowl of French fries. I would be able to eat that bowl of French fries so quick and I wouldn't even notice it and I'd probably still be hungry after. The bowl of chicken breast would take me time and energy. It's so dense and fibrous. Like I probably wouldn't be able to go eat a bowl of chicken breast. That's why I see protein is such a dense macronutrient. It takes our body in our mouth, in our esophagus, in our stomach time to break that down. So that's why increasing our protein intake is going to keep us full. It's going to help us burn more calories and it's going to speed up our metabolism because, again, what I said earlier, protein has a thermic effect to food. When our digestive system is moving faster and more efficiently and it's becoming a machine, it's becoming better. It's kind of like you eating more protein on your digestive system. It's kind of similar to you in the gym training, getting stronger because you're training your digestive system. More protein is going to be slightly harder on your digestive system in isolation. But over time, your body's going to adapt and you're going to get stronger and you're going to speeden up your metabolism just from eating more protein over time. Like the biggest mistake I see people making is they go too hard and they too complicated too fast. The people who do like fad diets, fasting and keto and carnivore and like to me those people are just lacking mindset. Like if you worked on your mindset and self-talk, you would just be able to do what I do. Like you could just eat your favorite foods and still lose fat. Like, and if your favorite foods are Oreos and like butter or ice cream, if those are your favorite foods, okay, cool. We can find a way to make those work in your plan. But a lot of times, I've seen this time and time again, when we go away from the junk food and processed food just for a little bit, and we focus on more whole foods, more high protein nutrition, and you're actually eating what your body actually craves and not just what your dopamine craves, eventually you stop craving those shitty foods. You're like, I don't even want fast food anymore. I don't even want that little Debbie cake anymore. I want some chicken wings and I want some mashed potatoes. I want real food. The people that do fad diets, I just think it's a lack of mindset. Like, cause they're looking for a shortcut. Guys, you're looking to try to get the easy way. You're looking to try to, skip the line and find a way that's gonna work for you. Guys, nothing's gonna work for you. You have to work for it. I say this all the time. And why not just do it the right way? I mean, I know I might not be, I could debate. I mean, my way might not be the best way. But like, when in my way, we're able to eat so much food, not feel like we're hungry, and also eat our favorite foods and still lose fat. And not have to track every macro, not have to weigh our food, not have to restrict food groups. So like, I mean, I feel like my way is the best way. But I'm a little biased because I've helped so many people lose fat, add muscle with my nutrition protocol. I've gone through a crazy transformation when I was only 124 pounds when I first started. Now I'm 184-ish pounds. So, I mean, nutrition is the unlock. A lot of you guys have been working out, you've been training, and like you want to reveal all your hard work. The only way you're going to reveal that hard work is through nutrition. You can never outwork a bad diet. So why not find the way that works for you? If intermittent fasting and keto works for you, then do that. But I tell people you have to do something that's going to work for you for the rest of your life. Like what I'm doing is going to work for me for the rest of life because I actually enjoy it. When you stop doing that keto, when you stop doing that fasting and you go back to regular nutrition, you're going to gain all that weight back that you lost doing the keto and fasting. So, guys, fat loss doesn't have to be overwhelming. It can be very simple. It actually can be fun. Because like if you guys have ever purchased my cookbook, a lot of you have, so shout out to you. I appreciate the support. But I have fun, easy to make recipes. So a lot of my clients, I've had clients, lose like a lot of body fat without feeling overwhelmed, without getting sick of their nutrition. It's because they're actually excited to make these new fun meals in the kitchen. And it's like, I'm trying to articulate this in a way like, I have a few specific clients that have lost, well over 80 pounds, close to 100 pounds. And like the only way they have done that is because they've enjoyed their time in the kitchen. They're like looking forward to it. They're like, I can't wait to make this new recipe on my meal plan because like it's gonna be good for me. It's gonna get me closer to my goals. It's also gonna taste good. It's gonna be fun to make. Like, you guys have to shift your mindset, and we have to find a way to enjoy the process. I say this all the time. The person that has more pride in the steps to obtain the result than the result itself cannot be stopped. So, if we can figure out how to enjoy doing this fat loss thing, enjoy doing this muscle building thing, then you're going to be unstoppable. You don't need to eat super clean. You just need a plan that you can repeat, that you actually enjoy. Like, and if you struggle like how I struggle with ADHD, overwhelm, anxiety, like we need to simplify everything. Like our brain thinks that, oh, since we haven't gotten the result, it must be extremely complicated. I must have to weigh every single macro and be on keto and only eat at 3 p.m. between 3 p.m. and 4:02 p.m. and it has to be like the sun has to be shining and like no, like it doesn't have to be like simplicity is key, guys. Simplicity is the unlock. So just to recap, guys, track your calories and protein. 80% of your nutrition should be whole foods. 20% can be whatever you want. I highly recommend meal prepping because it's going to save you money, save you time, and it's going to help expedite your results. And you don't have to be like tracking your nutrition throughout the day. Guys, if you're stuck not seeing results, you're putting in the work, and it's like you're just not seeing the results you want the game plan, you want the accountability, you want me to help you with a custom meal plan, custom workouts, and hold you accountable, what you guys can do is hit the description in this video, schedule a call with me, or check out my Instagram. You can shoot me a message on Instagram. We could talk privately about your goals first. But guys, I'm here because I want to simplify people getting fit. Because when I first started trying to get fit, I overcomplicated everything, especially with my workouts, with my nutrition. And I was seeing a little bit of results, but not really. As soon as I started to simplify everything and find a way that I actually enjoyed, that I was like, damn, I can't wait to go to the gym and do these workouts. I can't wait to get in the kitchen and meal prep these meals. Once I figured out how to actually enjoy what I was doing to get fit, that's when I became unstoppable. So guys, I'm still a new YouTuber, so if you got value from this video, do me a massive freaking favor. Subscribe, like, leave a comment, and I'll see you guys in the next video.